Welcome back to my series From Trust to Trauma with Dating My Therapist. This is part 5. If you remember from part 4, I talked about how Kay and I met for the first time after speaking with each other for about a month. And then we talked about our quick getaway to an Airbnb where she surprised me with 60 roses. And we talked about how I met her cousin, a couple of her friends, after seeing her home for the first time. And I also talked about how my daughter was able to meet her for the first time and seeing the house, and how in love with it she was. Okay, so let's jump into it. So my job started cutting hours like real bad, and I felt like they had started to mistreat me. So I was telling Kay about it, and she was just like, yeah, I really think you should consider leaving there because it's starting to affect you mentally and physically. And I noticed that it's what you've been talking about lately. I don't want you to, what she said, she was like, I don't want you to suffer while trying to pay your bills. And she was so right, can't lie, because it definitely was stressing me out. It became super toxic, and I just started looking for better opportunities from there. So the search wasn't going so well. I had been a full-time business owner for so long, so getting back into the job market had me looking sideways like, what is going on? Why is it so damn hard to find a job that pays money? Like, the economy is not the same. So I had to talk with myself. I was just like, okay. So it's a possibility that me renewing my lease is probably not going to be the best idea, because if I can't find a job that's going to be able to fully support me financially, me and my daughter, then I'm going to be back in the same hole. So I was thinking maybe I should take up my mom's offer of us coming back to her home just for at least 6 months to a year or so I can really rebuild myself, so I won't get myself further into debt, because that's where I was headed. I had almost got evicted from the damn apartment, so I was just like, cool, I just can't go back there, y'all. It was just too painful. Kay had already helped me mentally with that transition, so I'm just glad it worked out before it went that far. So I had told Kay about my idea of moving to my mom's, so she didn't think it was a good idea, and I was just like, so what you want me to do, stay in this shit? She was just like, no, I think moving back to your mom's is going to make you complacent. And after you put your stuff in storage, you're going to be in a 1-bedroom, and that's not going to be comfortable. So I thought about it. And I was just like, me, almost 30, with my teenager, moving back to my mom's in a 1-bedroom, putting all my stuff in storage. Ooh, that is definitely a transition. I ain't think about it that deep. So the topic of us moving in with her came up again. And she painted the picture of how great it was going to be on me mentally and financially. So I pondered about it, and I agreed. It had only been a month since we met in person, and this was decided in March of 2023. My lease was up in July, but leaving before then would probably make a better transition, so I plan to break my lease and move in May instead. I already know what you're thinking. I'm just here to tell my story, so let's get through it. I remember telling my mom like it was yesterday. I was sitting on her porch and afraid to talk about it. But I brought it up. I thought she was going to talk me out of it, but shockingly, she didn't. So she asked me, she said, okay, how long have you been knowing Kay? And I told her for a while now, I kind of quickly answered because, I didn't want to describe what a while was. Because if I had said what I was supposed to have said, I probably wouldn't be here right now talking about this shit. So I shared with her how much Kay had helped me and how she was helping me get my business off the ground again. My mom knew how much my business meant to me. So hearing anything about my business on the up, she was going to be in agreement with. So she said to me, I know you're grown. and capable of making the best decision for yourself. I'm just concerned about Zai. How does she feel about it? Like, what does she think? I told her that, hell, Zai more excited than me. She the one that convinced me that I should go ahead and, and do it or whatever. So she smiled and laughed a little bit and said, okay, with a relieved look. She seemed like she was more okay with the fact that we'll be leaving. But I can still see a little bit of sadness because we had always visited my mom. And so she felt like when we moved, she'll never see us again. But I told her that I'll still come and visit. So at this time, I still had my wig shop. Things were not improving. I actually wasn't in my wig shop that much because hell, I was always in goddamn Montgomery. And then equally, I had already transitioned to doing hair from the house. So the shop was just sitting there. So I had already made plans to go ahead and close my shop. So because when I got the space, I had remodeled it completely, put new flooring, painting, new stuff, cabinets, all that stuff inside of there. I was actually able to negotiate with the person who owned the building, owned the space or whatever, to take money off of the balance, because when I move out, it's basically just going to be moving ready for the next person. And so Kay helped me with that, with the negotiation process, and we did exactly what we was aiming to do. So we was able to get out of it and close it out with a $0 balance. So then it came the process of actually closing the shop. Y'all, it was the most painful process. Like, when I tell y'all, that was probably one of my most biggest accomplishments yet. It really was. I put everything I had into this space, y'all. My whole world. When I walked into my shop every day, y'all, like, I saw me. It was a physical representation of me, and I'll show y'all what it looked like. When I tell y'all, like, Soul Dream was my everything, y'all. And when it closed, I just feel like I died. Like, I couldn't even move my stuff. Like, she actually arranged to move my stuff with my stepdad, and they moved it all to Montgomery. I could not physically be there. I couldn't take it. I'm sorry. So let's talk about the process of picking up my life and moving it all to another city in part 6.